Like, share, subscribe, dislike, all the other good shit. Like, share, subscribe, dislike, all the other good shit. Like, share, subscribe, discount, discount, dislike. I must be thinking about the damn Christmas sales. Let's talk about discount. Yo, pat yourself on the back, man. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy. I don't. Those are the only ones I know. So I'm a, American brain. So if there's other ones of variation of Christmas, I hope you enjoyed it. However it goes. And happy Saturday, yeah. Go do the history of all that. The original Christmas. Let's get straight to it. Did I tell y'all to pat yourself on the back? Did I tell y'all to hit that like button, dislike button, comment below, tell me how stupid I sound? Or do you agree with me? Gunther, Gunther. Gunther was ruined. Changed my mind. Because Gunther, WWE ruined Gunther. Changed my mind. I said in a recent video, who actually got over, Gunther or Triple H? Who actually got the heat? The booking committee or Gunther? This is very lopsided. This is why I feel like Gunther was ruined and did not get over. What they tried to establish was Gunther is this dominant force by doing damage control off of WrestleMania 41, which was the worst WrestleMania since WrestleMania 27. And that's actually worse than 27. So this is the worst WrestleMania I've ever seen. Not the worst in history by, factual evidence. This is the worst I've ever seen. I've been watching WrestleMania since WrestleMania 21. And I've been watching since then. Of course, I did my homework and watched. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't go back and watch all the rest of them. I've seen matches, but it ain't about that. Gunther tapped out to Jey Uso. Losing to Jey Uso was one thing, but tapping out the way he did was a whole nother. Especially if you was trying to establish Gunther as this unbeatable, monstrous, killer machine. Well, that didn't look right. At least with Sami Zayn, and I feel like Sami Zayn beating him, the way he beat him was a little bit more, at WrestleMania 40, was a little bit more okay. He did a top rope brainbuster. So he did some impactful shit to beat him. That's why nobody complains about that. Plus, he was a mid-card guy. He gave the mid-card title away. Here y'all go. I'm going to move to the world title picture. That's exactly what he did after WrestleMania 40. But losing to Jey Uso in the way he did really ruined all his mystique and his aura, all his credibility. They thought, having John Cena tap out not only was controversial, it was going to have people talking. They thought this was going to transcend Gunther into the mega star, having a mega heat. That's what they was aiming for. The biggest problem I have, you probably could have did damage control if Gunther and John Cena had a feud. This was the biggest problem. This was no storyline. There was no story arcs to this. There was no overall thesis to their situation. This was literally, he won this random useless ass tournament for no reason to fight John Cena in his last run. What's the story behind that? It's not a story. John Cena was having his last match. It's a fact. A story would have been if Gunther all year has been antagonizing John Cena, telling him, I'm going to be the one to take you out. No matter how I got to get there, I'm going to be the one to do it. They did not have one promo against each other, one face-off, Nothing. Nothing. Not even using social media. Twitter war. When John Cena's father said Gunther shouldn't have been a guy, Gunther should have gone on Twitter and told his father, kiss his ass or something. That would have got people talking. No, there was no story. That's why the lazy dirty creative needs to. I mean, dude, these people need to be fired. These people need to be fired. There was no story going in or out of this. This is why I said John Cena should be the Riddler in the next Batman movie. Because he likes to talk in riddles and talk in fucking circles. He sounds smart to somebody that doesn't use critical thinking. He sounds like he makes sense to someone that does not use critical thinking. Because he's trying to make it seem like, oh, he was basically, he gave it his all. Sometimes in life, you got to give up. Right? Basically, waving his last wave. That's how he try to butter this up. Because John Cena has probably top-notch PR training and media training. Top-notch. Because he knows exactly what to say and how to say it. He's not going to just straight up say it. See, if this was CM Punk, they would probably have to tell CM Punk, yo, you think you can't talk about this or you shouldn't talk about this, da-da-da-da. Because CM Punk is a live wire. He's going to just say it. Trust me, trust and believe. If CM Punk thought something sucked, he can't help himself but to say it. He'll be sarcastic about it, something. Cena, on the other hand, he knows how to use his words wisely. He's a real smart guy. But if you don't have critical thinking, he sounds like a genius to you. He gonna make you think, you know what, that was a good ending. No, it wasn't. And a lot of people can say, well, Gunther's getting booed out the buildings. Yeah. How long is it gonna last? And really, is Gunther being booed, or is this the reflection of the crowd hating what was booked in front of them? Because Saturday Night Live main event told you everything. That told you everything in abundance. Triple H got booed. They weren't just saying Gunther sucks. They were saying bullshit. You fucked up. We want Vince. AEW. This was the time when Seth Rollins got disqualified in a Hell in a Cell match. It's the same type of atmosphere right now. Nobody won out of this. This is even worse than that. Because this was John Cena, the last mega star of wrestling. This was his last run that everyone was on their feet about and really anticipated for. Why I was even watching Raw or SmackDown. Because other than that, there's a few people I like, but Cena's last run, and I'd seen Cena's entire run, was amazing to know that I seen his entire run to the end. And the end was just not great. Changed my mind. His run was shit. Was there little bright spots? Yeah, but his run overall was shit, and the ending was just bad. But John Cena's so quick to be like, we tell so many stories. What fucking story are you talking about, John? There was no story between you and Gunther. There was no storyline Gunther was leading up to get to that part. That's a story. John Cena's an old man, down on his luck. Look, let's go back to ECW. When Terry Funk, right? Terry Funk won the world title at Barely Legal, right? The story to that was amazing. Why? Because him and Raven had this situation where Raven looked at him like his father. The father he never had. Raven's the outcast. He reminds him of his father. He hated his father type shit, right? The guy, the old man that don't give it up. That was like the story of that whole thing. That's why the crowd went crazy after Terry Funk won the triple threat with Sandman and Stevie Richards. When Raven came right out there to start whooping his ass, right? Real heat. Because we all thought Raven was going to win. And then all out of nowhere rolled up Raven like a blunt. 1, 2, 3, and the crowd went insane. Right? The old man did it. He did it. You know, that's how I felt. Adrian, I did it. That's how I felt. It felt like the old man had one more run. Rest in peace, Terry Funk. This didn't feel like that. This was just literally thrown together. We all knew Gunther was going to win the tournament, so what was the point of the tournament? Instead of having the tournament, you could have John Cena and Gunther. You could have John Cena coming out there. John Cena can come out there on his, one of these last days to cut a promo. Hey, the time is getting close. It's almost up. And Gunther could have cut him off. We didn't have not one time throughout this entire year. Gunther could have cut him off and told him, Cena, your time is up. My time is now. Me and you will meet again. We didn't have none of these going into this. I guess, basically, Gunther is basically the new legend killer, right? But Randy Orton had a story to this. That was his character. Young, brash, arrogant, little asshole, showing no respect to the people that came before him. That was literally his whole storyline. Gunther is just, they're doing damage control. He's beating legends, Goldberg, Cena, but this was damage control. Goldberg was trying to clean up the mess that they made at WrestleMania 41. That's all Goldberg was, and John Cena. Neither one of them worked. Because both of them, at least Goldberg and Gunther had something, the year prior at Backlash. Backlash? At least they had something prior. Still, very weak story. I agree with Goldberg because there was really no emphasis, no real detail put into it to even have that match at Saturday Night Main Event. There was nothing put in it later. It just, they had a little interaction a whole 7 months ago. Then now Goldberg's back. But still they had something. They had at least a promo. John Cena and Gunther had literally no crossovers at all. Backstage, nothing. Nothing. That's why I feel like Gunther did not get over. Gunther did not get the heat that Triple H got, that the booking got. They're booing Gunther in the results of the booking. This is a different audience. This is a different audience now. This audience critiques ratings, views, tickets. We view like we're bookers. We don't view it like we're fans anymore. Fans, this is like, okay, was this way or that? Would this happen? Did this happen? Today's fans are looking at everything today, right? So the fans were booing the entirety, pretty much, of John Cena's career. John Cena had lost to Dom. He got squashed by Brock. A lot of people was pissed about these things. Dom, I don't think really bothered that many people because Dom was one of the only people like Gunther that got the rub. He got to defeat John Cena in his last year. See, what they tried to attempt was good, just the execution was bad. The climax to this was bad. Why we didn't have Gunther burning up John Cena merch or something? You know what I'm saying? Just like, you had, a week before, even if it was going to be a weak-ass feud, you only had literally 1 week or 2 weeks to build up. Why we didn't just have something significant as Gunther in the back literally burning all John Cena merch up? Something. He just cut little promos. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to do this. It's lazy, bro. Lazy storytelling if you think that was even a story. There was no story there. Old man Cena on his last run, the upcoming beast. That's why that Brock Lesnar and Gunther match is dead to me. Would it be intriguing? Yeah, but it won't be exciting as it would have been if Gunther didn't have all this damage on his name. No feud with Cena. Literally, no feud, no story, nothing going in with Cena. Just a match. Decent match, but that's don't cover up for what it should have been, right? Gunther taps out the Jey Uso, and they had a long ass feud with the same rinse and recycled shit every week. Brawl, brawl, brawl. The only thing that stuck out of that entire feud was Jimmy Uso getting beat bloody, and Gunther had blood all over himself. He looked insane. That was the only thing that stuck out. Nothing else. No other stories in between. Nothing else. So they tried to do damage control and it didn't work. The fans are not booing Gunther; they're booing the booking. I don't think Gunther got the heat. The WWE creative got the heat. Gunther is just a face that they're using. I seen somebody's YouTube and he said Triple H should have endorsed Gunther to translate that heat to Gunther. No, but Triple H is an egomaniac. If Triple H can't come out there and pin people and bump and do the thing, he's not going to be a character on TV. He has to be involved. He has to be winning in his mind. I told you, that's not Paul Levesque. That's Triple H. When he's in that building, he's Triple H still. So Gunther did not get over. Gunther was ruined by WWE. Changed my mind. Like, share, subscribe, dislike all the good shit. We are out.